What in the hell do you know about making a video on single player PS4 games? How dare you? Jacob Baldino, stop this. I want this suppressed. I don't want to ever see this on any recommended. This is Gamer Ranks territory only. And don't even start with that administration. Too late.
Dopamine administered.
This video is part of a trilogy. Wildlands was reviewed by myself last year. It was one of the most popular videos of 2025 on the channel. I then followed it up with a versus with Breakpoint. I'm very pro Wildlands. There's a few reasons for that, we'll get to it, and there are some rumours of a definitive edition bumping up those specs, which would just be absolutely amazing. And talking of spec, I'm running this game on the quality mode on a PlayStation 5 for the front end of this video. I'll timestamp when I switch over. Not aware of any 9th gen backwards compatibility. It does sit on the HD drive. There are a few larger load screens at the start of the game, but it is all bearable.
Maneuvering to the target. Ready, Ghost Lead.
Following up from Wildlands, Breakpoint does take place in the near future. With the game coming out in 2019, they set that future to where we are today. And they're not too far off with the drone stuff. And that's one of the more fun parts of Breakpoint, is the machinery and that futuristic hardware. If Unidad had access to some of this stuff, we would have been screwed. It also sits on what I think is a better engine. Explosions look great, you've got the seasons all in this one map, tropical forests, snowy mountain peaks, loads of water and rivers. It is a very different vibe to that Wildlands map, which is a cool thing. The drone stuff works twofold. Depending on what class you go as, you do have access to your own, a la Wildlands, but they also have drones as the Unidad equivalent. The police in this map supporting the enemies, constantly flying Reapers over and keeping you on the back foot. And it's a very dynamic, quite heavily populated map full of mini installations and secrets. You do have to find your weaponry as loot drops, be it from the enemies or even caches that are found in buildings. These can also be marked on your map. You can have quests surrounding all of that. Not too dissimilar to the Wildlands model. You've also got multiple quest lines which develop the further you dig into them and then open up to a finale. And that for me is just massive. It helps because if you hit a dead end, you can just go and investigate something else, take yourself over to another part of that map and develop some other relationship. But it is quite daunting. I do also want to make a point about the look and the design of the installations themselves. They've really embraced that futurism in the architecture, the layout, the aesthetic. It's very cool creeping into these places. Enemy placements are awesome. You've got automated robotic turrets that you can hack. You've also got mortars coming from the enemy's early doors. It doesn't hold back on pushing stuff at you.
There it is, boss.
Outside the prison. Someone here. This is about to get real.
Stay low.
You've also got the tried and tested sink shot mechanic, allocating the kill to your AI teammates, then you instigate it and take out more than one person simultaneously. It's not a massive seller. In actual fact, you can get by without using it at all. This game features an addition sync bot that you can launch to give you one more tab on that front. I think with both these games, the idea is to sort of stealth kill as much as you can before you go in for the big fight and take over the base full stop. You could even just solid snake it right in and right out of there without any of them seeing you. So it's nice to have those options. Normally it goes south and you end up in a massive explosion-ridden firefight anyway.
Ready to rock.
Let's talk about these vehicles because it coincides with my performance change. You are offered land, sea and air, but more importantly, you're able to actually purchase your own that spawn in to your restart points, brackets bivouacs. The game runs great in quality mode, no complaints. I just wanted 60 frames. When things get busier in the combat, you don't want stuff dropping. Not that it does too often.
Take cover! That's hostiles! We are under attack! Letting it rip! Blast it out!
Normally on an 8th gen game that had official backwards compatibility patched into it, those performance modes would be locked, there'd be a singular option. So it's great to be able to toggle between the two. And talking of toggling, you have the identical system of enabling your AI passengers to get involved with combat or not. And they are pretty efficient, they're kind of on par with the Wildlands group. They have a bit more depth however, they rank with you, we'll get into it.
Activating scanner. Shit! Sniper set to fire! The sniper's dead!
Blasted him. I hit one.
Enemies hit!
Can we have a look at the diddle-a-did? Yeah, and that was the other reason I went over to performance, because I was seeing a little bit of pop-in. You can't see much of it at night time. The illumination looks great, but yeah, all chopper flight is pretty amazing, and there are planes in this game. That brings me over to some of the purchasable vehicles. They embrace, as mentioned before, that future tech vibe. And some of the cool stuff is not completely out of reach with the finance system. Once you get to a bivouac, which is an interesting safe setup, you have to discover them, you make camp, and then of course you can ask for something to spawn in. A little bit like Far Cry.
Heads up.
Engaging! Got one!
There's APCs, there's really cool helicopters, there's awesome cars and motorcycles. Experimenting with all of that, trying it all out, is quite a lot of fun. There's also a huge amount of fun to be had mucking around with the enemy AI. They aren't terrible, and just like Wildlands, that's half the joy of the game, is going to a base, bringing the havoc and watching them all cope and deal with it.
Rocket gunner taking aim!
Combat drones active.
You still got all of those awesome parachute mechanics. You can jump out of anything at any given time if you've got enough ground underneath you. And the thought dawned on me as I was getting involved in a lot of the helicopter combat and coming in at bases with missiles. This does feel a little bit like, now just brace yourselves here, The Division 2 meets Just Cause 4. Yeah, just spit that one in your heads for a minute. That's a hell of a combination of two video games. Also, remember that I'm playing this game completely solo. You might have got to this 2019, bunch of mates, one and done, straight through that campaign, thank you very much. And that's really cool, but going back to this all those years later, and on 9th gen, and experiencing some of that organic ranking that the AI team goes through. I can now do scans, see through walls when we turn up at places. The other dude's drone's got loads of stuff going on with it, equipment's getting better. It all feels very natural. You've also got movement and command stuff, which I didn't even need to go to. They're good enough to just back you up, full stop.
Sniper's about to fire on us. I got this. Sniper ready to shoot. He's dead.
Is there anything that annoys you about it in 2026? Not really. There's a bit of an issue with some of the vault mechanics on X. You can't get over ledge. The input just won't come in and you'll just stop. There's also quite a few micros and accelerators pumped into that user interface. This is a sign of the times, and I think they're still running some online events. There's timed side quests available for me still, but you are left relatively alone to enjoy a single player experience.
Sniper's about to shoot at us! Shit! Sniper set to fire!
This is a very strong Ubisoft game, and I feel it suffered a little bit in the shadow of Wildlands because that was so damn strong. The studio was also on a bit of a roll, putting out some absolute bangers at the time. So because this wasn't exceptional, everyone was like, oh, whatever, next please. It does fall a little bit out of my when Ubisoft were good window, which is 1985 to 2018. but I think we should allow Breakpoint in to the sacred fold.
Been done. Go there, boy.
Some of that terrible shooting is down to my incompetence, but also to me not having good equipment on some of my assault rifles. They've put quite a cool system in. Also, against the gunsmith, you can unlock perks on particular weapons and slot them in. It does give things personality, and it is very cool finding something of higher rank that you can start mucking around with. Same thing goes for the outfits and the clothing. When you find something good, you can immediately equip it by holding down the directional button. You don't have to go into any menus, you don't have to disrupt your gameplay at all. There's also a pretty decent gathering system that allows you to craft on the fly, make more grenades, syringes. There is also a roll on double tap circle, which gives that intimate combat a quite modern angle. Where can you play this now? On the Sony side, good news is both Wildlands and Breakpoint are on Extra, and Breakpoint's got a massive discount on it at the moment. I would love to see this game on PC. That's the Wildlands version I looked at previously, so I might go back and put out some content about Wildlands on the PS5, but I'm likely to hang out for that definitive edition. I was checking out this truck, the Destructibles on it. It's got deflatable tyres a la GTA, but it's also got an amazing rock on the suspension under that explosive blast. Yeah, it's the attachments. So I was Couch Coop. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you down there. Give me some feedback on when you got to Breakpoint. Have you ever played it? And do you prefer it to Wildlands? Disliked and unsubscribed. What was that? Who was that?